To say you gotta know somebody, oh know somebody to get somewhere these days. To say you know that's alright, yeah that's alright, cause you know that's alright with me. Yeah you know that's alright, yeah that's alright, cause you know that's alright.
I expect to get very, very handsome returns on as the future comes. Try
It's
not
all
to
about the
flip.
financing. There's a lot of, like, I think right now the money's in the finance, knowing how to do the financing part of it, because a lot of people don't have that piece of the puzzle right now. So if you can figure out how to involve the seller in the financing, or involve private individuals in the financing, and stay away from the stupid banks. I think
Seems like that's where they're going. A lot of people are carrying back mortgages because of that reason. Even commercial, like I read your book, or some, even small commercial, low end, they're doing that because
Commercial's always done.
their
Residential-
buildings
we're
aren't
approaching
moving, so it's an
residential like
option.
commercial, same thing. We're approaching the residential market just like the commercial market
Huh.
always does business.
But the commercial had no choice.
Yeah.
You know, years ago. Say you got a building for $2 million. I mean, and banks, banks are requiring, 1.25 debt ratios, and if the building's not making that kind of money, there's no way that guy's gonna sell it. So he had to carry back paper. That's just.
And he
part of
probably
it.
bought it that way too.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. That's why
bought
he
it the same way,
understands it.
So he understands it.
To a commercial real estate investor, that's just he bought it like that when he was 30, and now he's selling it like that when he's 50. It's just the nature of the game. What's happening today is these people are sitting on all this property. I mean, we're even trying to convert a couple of realtors over to. Here's something that we did different recently. There's this neighborhood that we like to buy in, and there's one real estate agent who really works this neighborhood like crazy. And he's currently got like 9 listings in this neighborhood. There's about 12 for sale. And they're only selling about 1 a month right now. So currently on the market is a year's supply of inventory. So I'm talking to the guy and he goes, yeah, and I got 4 more coming. I said, so what the hell for?
What do you need more?
What do you need 4 more that you're not gonna sell? So I said, instead of
They're not moving.
You're right. So he said, instead of doing the same old thing, sitting down with the people, getting the listing contract signed, putting it on the MLS so we can sit there, why don't you bring us in? We'll come in and we'll buy it from these people directly. Their houses will move right now, and we'll pay him, a commission out of the deal somehow. And trying to get these guys to understand it, that's like, banging your head against the wall. But
We're smarter than you.
We're confident.
They think they are.
It's way free. We're gonna steal the deal from you. We don't do listings. We don't want that kind of business. And trying to explain to the guy, he's helping his client, and he's making money for himself, and he's helping all the other listings he has, because if he can get rid of the 4 that are coming, then doesn't that mean the other ones are gonna sell faster?
And they'll
You
come
can
to
have
him
the
too.
sign of the yard that says sold in 2 days.
Yeah. What do we care? They're trying to get him to understand it. We're working on that.
Yeah, that's a lot, it goes back to the same thing we were talking about with dealing with different vendors, I'm dealing with, you have to train them on how you do business and how it's a benefit to them to do business with you, because you're not, again, you're going to a realtor that's gonna bring you, a real estate agent that's gonna bring you deals. You're not just a one-time buyer and you're done, you're gonna be buying more stuff, so I mean, they need to see what's in it for them.
They don't see that. They think that you're just gonna use them once and then go train somebody else. They just don't see that. I don't know what it is, but they don't look at the
I
future.
tried even doing it different.
Yeah, they're smarter than all of us.
I had a real estate
Bring a
agent.
business, they know more than all of us.
I had an agent that was, I said, do you wanna be a buyer's agent, why don't you, go hammer all the expired listings, and said, look, I don't wanna relist your property, I have a buyer who wants to buy it right now. And I gave her a formula, and I said, look, I'll be willing to pay this, based on this formula, and anything you get below that, I'll give you 25% of, so I'll give you 25% commission. 25% commission of the discount you get, cause I'm always into mutually, I want incentive structures. So for me, it's ridiculous to have a buyer's agent and say, look, if I get this house for 100, you get $3 grand. If I buy it for, if you get me a deal for 50, you get 1,500. Wait a second, that's not lined up. I want you to give me a good deal, so I want to pay you more for getting me a good deal.
Oh.
And not necessarily, I can get the good deal too, but I want to, have her grease the skids there. And so you present that to she presents it to her broker, and what do you think the broker said?
No.
Oh, no.
Can't do it.
We can't pay you 25% of a discount. So that's actually why Phil and I were talking about doing this brokerage thing, is because we want to be able to have the flexibility and give people the flexibility to structure their deals however they want.
Would be a big help to investors
I
too.
know. I mean, I'm thinking if you're a buyer's agent, which you need to be in this market if you're an agent, I wanna be the guy that rebates to the buyers and says, look, I'll charge you $1,500 to handle the transaction for you. Anything that they offer me above that, I'm rebating it to you. We gotta fill out this, thing on the HUD that says that, and on the contract, I have to disclaim that or whatever. And then, but you think about it, it's like, is it any much, if you're paying, it's almost like a financial planning. You have flat fee guys, or fee-based guys, and then you have commission-based guys. So I don't know, some people would say, well, geez, I want the guy that I don't have to pay any money to. You're paying him money, he's making it on the back end,
Everybody
and he's
gets paid.
referring you stuff he might not have referred you if you were giving him a flat rate. I like paying the flat rate guy. And now I say, okay, now that I know you're in my court, I'm your customer. You're gonna do me a good service versus, maybe you go to a buyer's agent and say, how much do you charge? They're like, huh? The seller pays me. Well, wait a second, how's that fair? I wouldn't pay you, you're working for me.
Yeah.
So, but people don't understand it. So you gotta, I don't know, it just makes sense to me, but the whole country does it wrong. So.
Jeremy, can we talk about the houses you buy that aren't for sale?
Well, yeah, like Dimitri was saying, a lot of what I do is direct response marketing, and even door-to-door knocking. Don't worry, I'm not bringing pamphlets out. I'm here to buy your house. I got this thing that's like, there's no soliciting our development. No, I'm not selling anything. I'm actually looking to buy something. I'm walking around with a checkbook. But no, I mean, it depends on when I say that. I bought all my deals from people that are going on foreclosure, from divorces, from probates, from referrals, from state attorneys, from divorce attorneys, from just putting my name out there. And I would get the calls before they would list the properties. They would even, but they didn't know they wanted to sell the properties. When I said I never bought a house that was for sale, it's because, and I talked to the mailmen a lot. Mailmen are phenomenal. So if you have a neighborhood that you like, talk to the mailmen. They know every house that's vacant. They know which ones are getting their mail forwarded. They know which one left in the middle of the night. And I'll get referrals from those guys. I'm a skip tracer, so I can skip trace the owners. I track down the owners. I give them a call, or I stop by their new digs, and I automatically know I'm catching them off guard. So if you're gonna catch somebody off guard, what's the first thing you say?
We'll sell your house.
No, you say, I don't mean to catch you off guard. No, seriously, but if you think about it, it just disarms them. Or I say, this is gonna be a really strange phone call. But just by saying that kind of thing, it's just all the psychology is that this is probably a really strange phone call for you. But I'm actually calling because I'm interested in buying your house. And they're like, what? And then you get into it. But you have to have that icebreaker, Or a lot of times you send them a letter, and I drop it in the post office box, and then I go back in and I call and say, I sent you a letter, I didn't hear from you. But that's a really good icebreaker because people are afraid to contact me. Like you say, I sent you a letter, I haven't heard back from you. Are you interested in selling the house? I gave you that. So I mean you approaching people that might have a need to sell before they exercise that, before they raise their hand. I want them to raise their hand to me, saying, well, you know what? It just so happens that we were thinking about selling the house.
Indeed. The best deals you're gonna find come from your attitude, your excitement about what you're doing. 2 weeks ago, we're sitting in a Red Line Diner on 611 having breakfast, right? We decide that we gotta go to South Philly. You know what? Let's just squeeze it in today. Let's end this meeting right now. I gotta run home and do something, and we're gonna go to South Philly. So then we're paying the bill. Jeremy's talking to the cashier. And turns out that there's a vacant property that's going to be foreclosed on across the street from where she lives. Really? Where do you live? Let's get that. Oh, well, we're swinging down to South Philly. We'll go check it out.
No, she says a nursing home too, right? There's a lady going into a nursing home too.
So on the way to South Philly, we go looking for the house. And next thing you know, well, we're checking it out, and it's definitely a possibility, and the neighbors were taking care of it. We're exchanging business cards. They wouldn't let us in, but we're trying to work a deal. We start driving around the neighborhood just to check it out. Sure enough, we see a real estate sign. I call the realtor. It's not up on the market yet. I just dropped the sign, and next thing you know, we're checking this house out. Make a long story short, I mean, we found 2 decent deals to buy in this neighborhood. We didn't get to South Philly until 4 o'clock, about 5 hours late.
But from the diner clerk. No, because you ask. You say, hey, we buy houses. Do you know anybody that's, do you know any houses in your neighborhood that might be coming up for sale sometimes? As a matter of fact, the lady just went to a nursing home. They're probably going to be selling their place. They're working on cleaning it out now. You know, you got the guys that, do the house cleanouts, you think those guys are good to contact, the guys that come and got 1-800 got junk, or,
Yeah.
you know, the smaller scale guys? You know, a lot of them buy houses, I'll tell you that much, a lot of them say, you know, contact, so they go to garage sales. What's the first thing you say when you go to garage sale? How much for the garage? The whole house too, it's a yard sale, how much for the yard, yeah. But you can, you know, you can definitely, if you see people throwing stuff out in the street, what's going on? What's going on in this house? There's a bunch of stuff on the street. There's a lot of things. Jason's in the fire department, he knows, you know, he sees, smoke coming out of the house, he's probably motivated to sell it the next day. Maybe somebody else wouldn't be willing to buy it, cause the repairs are involved.
Next snowstorm, drive around your favorite neighborhood and write down all the addresses of the driveways that aren't shoveled.
Do that, yeah.
There's all your vacant properties
Like 4 or 5
right there.
days, three, 4 or 5
Yeah.
days after the snow's done.
Yeah.
You just look at all one, now they're either on vacation, there's snowbirds on vacation, but in the neighborhoods that, you know, that we're in, most likely not. You know, there's bread and butter homes that probably don't have a house in Tahiti, you know.
You'll find every vacant property in that neighborhood in about half an hour just driving through it.
I found a house that was actually on fire, I swear.
You make it off
Was
the
it on
bottles
fire?
over.
I was going to the driveways, I went out it snowed like, a couple weeks before that, so I went out, did that, had my list. Went to these people and was like, you know, I noticed, you know, it took a while to get to your driveway, I'm gonna, you know, make a service, and I'll be out there at your driveway, just get, you know, give me a commitment and I'll do it, and I was going looking for more houses, and found a house was on fire, and ended up kicking the door and saving the dogs, cause there was no one at the house. But, it was pretty funny.
You gotta buy the house.
Yeah, no, I didn't buy the house, but,
I'll give you these 2 dogs as a down payment.
the people never thanked me, but it was like a tiny house, and I was really shady, it was like a tiny house, not well kept, there's a man